Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Joel, and today we're talking about rude buyers, rude customers. What do you do with them, and what if they want to come back and work with you again? We'll talk about all that and more in today's video. That's right, today I'm getting back to doing something we used to do quite a lot here on the channel, something I hope to get back and do more of in the future, and that is answering your questions from the comment section. So many of you leave me great questions. If you haven't done that before, leave me a question down below. It could be featured in a video just like this one. So today's question comes from a faithful listener, Amanda Moreland. She's got this question, and it's specifically about Fiverr buyers. So she's going to talk about ratings, and then we'll apply this to not just Fiverr, but also all businesses. So she asks, do you ever leave buyers who have been quite rude and insulting less than a 5-star review? Is there any harm in doing that? I have a buyer who I plan to finish an order with, and he's been very rude throughout the revision process. We've worked together before, and he didn't have this type of attitude. I think it would benefit future sellers to know, and I don't plan on leaving him anything horrible, just a 4 or 5-star review with a comment that kindly states my experience. What are your thoughts? Well, Amanda, I'm glad you asked, because this actually just happened to me the other day. It's a reality of working in any industry. Sometimes the people you work with are less than nice, and they don't fit in to a normal communication flow, and they seem a little rough around the edges. Now, what Amanda's specifically asking about is selling on Fiverr, where Fiverr has a double-blind review process, meaning that you're notified when your customer leaves you a review, and then you have the opportunity to leave them a review. Neither of you can see what the other is saying or leaving before the review is left, and you can't modify it afterwards, so there's no chance of retaliation. So my advice would be, try to be as honest as you possibly can, while realizing that that review you're leaving your buyer could affect your ability or any opportunity to work with them again in the future. If they're really rude, then that wouldn't matter to you, but you may just want to consider if it's an extenuating circumstance, not out of the normal, like she said, all the things that might play into that. But the truth is, Fiverr's review process encourages transparency. So if you didn't have a 5-star experience with this person, I don't think I would leave them a 5-star review. Now, a lot of times I try to be very vague. I'll say, nice to work with you. And if it's okay, I'll leave a 5-star review. I'll only leave less than 5 stars if there's something just off about this that might have led that person to feel sour about my service. In other words, if something didn't go quite right and you feel it in your gut, then you might want to include a little more detail and mark their rating accordingly. Here's my story. This happened to me just 2 days ago. I had a buyer come in and purchase a voiceover from me. They purchased a 24-hour service, meaning I had 1 day to do it, and they didn't give me any information. The only thing they left was a script. I asked for a response. I got nothing, so I just had to go on and do the work. I recorded the voiceover, and when he got it back, he said, hey, this isn't really what I want. I wanted it to sound like this. And I kindly responded, you didn't ask for that. In fact, you didn't ask for anything. You ordered and then didn't respond to me, so I had to complete the order. I heard nothing more of it, re-delivered the work, asked for, if he wanted to purchase another read, didn't hear anything until boom, a review pops up. And my first thought is, this review is not good because he didn't give me any information. He said I didn't give him what he wanted. This is about to be a bad review. So I said, hey, this is a good time for me to be honest and transparent. So I simply left him a 3-star review, which in Fiverr is a satisfactory rating. That's what kind of the little pop-up says when you leave a 3-star. And I simply communicated what happened. Hey, left me a script on a rush order, no instructions, didn't respond, communication could have been better, and that's what happened. But then he left me a 5-star review, which felt a little funny because I thought, I know that probably looked bad to him, but the truth is he didn't do his job as a buyer very well in communicating. I'm thankful that he left me a 5-star review, but at the end of the day, I don't look for any work from 3-star guy again, because if he sees the rating, he might have been insulted by what I had to say, but it was the truth. And I would encourage you to do the same. Try to be truthful, not harsh in your responses. probably, err on the side of grace, maybe a little more positive than you might think. That's why I left a 3-star and not a 2-star or a 1-star. But I simply included the details of why my rating was what it was. It was simply satisfactory. It wasn't great. There was something going on there. However, if somebody's really rude to you, I see nothing wrong with leaving them a poor rating and saying, this guy or this gal is extremely rude. They treated me poorly. They were mean and harsh throughout the thing. I doubt anybody is ever worthy of a 1-star, but maybe you're running across that customer. Whatever your feelings are about that person, try to make sure that your rating is only about your interaction with them in regard to the project. So in other words, if they're a little harsh, that might be cultural. That might just be because they're from a different region of the world or country than you are, and their communication style is a little rougher than yours. I've seen that from the Midwest. Not everybody communicates like a Midwesterner, and so I've had to get used to that and not mark people down for that. But you do want to be transparent in these reviews while understanding that it could lead to no opportunities in the future. But if it's a really bad buyer, you might want that. Now, if I'm translating this to businesses outside of a platform like Fiverr, I would say you first have to ask yourself the question, how did this rude buyer get to me? How did they come to my doorstep? Were they referred by somebody else? Was it a piece of marketing that they found of ours that got them to us? And is there something about my marketing, the way I'm putting my business or my service out there, that's attracting people that might be rude, hostile, or bad at communication? In other words, if you're offering an extremely cheap service with unlimited revisions, hey, we'll do anything you want us to, then you're kind of attracting crazy people, people that are going to ask for everything. I've noticed that when you get a little more specific with your policies and your procedures and your prices go up to match the quality of your work, you have less problems with that. So I would first ask myself, how did this, we won't call them a bad buyer, but how did this rough or rude buyer find their way to my service? And then try to rectify that. But beyond that, if a person who has been mean or rude in the past comes back to you and wants to work with you again, I think it's okay to start the next interaction, and this could be the same way on Fiverr, start the next interaction with some ground rules. Simply communicate how their actions made you feel. Hey, when you did this, when you got angry because I didn't respond in 1 hour, it made me feel like this. And if we're going to work on another project together, I'm going to need you to do X, Y, or Z. I'm going to need you to be more understanding. I'm going to need you to realize that you're not our only customer. I'm going to need you to trust that we're going to take care of you and do it in a timely manner. Whatever it may be, set some ground rules with the buyer if they do come back to buy from you again and say, if we work together again, here's how it's going to be. Does that work for you? And so if they say yes, you know that at the very least you've already addressed the issues you've had with them in the past, and hopefully your next interaction will be better. If it's not, you may just want to say at the end of the project, this will be the last time I'm able to offer you my services. You're simply not hearing what I have to say, and it would be a very rare circumstance for you to have to do that, but that's the way you would handle it. You would simply ask them to not come back after addressing a problem with them and them still going forward with the same kind of behavior. So, Amanda, I hope that is helpful. Hope that answered your question. And if you've got a question for me, leave it in the comments section. I'm down there all the time answering and looking and seeing. I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to help you with your life, money, and your business. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.